So hi, welcome to the Good Noise Podcast. We're here with Loyalty to Me. We're going to ask him some questions. I'm going to start. What inspired you guys to start the band, and what does the band name mean?
So, the band name, I'll start with, came from a lyric from a song in my previous band. I used to be in a band called Theory and Context a few years ago. And one of our lyrics was, "Your loyalty to me is more than I could ask." So I kind of pulled it from there. And the why, it was just, I don't know. I had quit my previous band and then took some time just kind of like chilling out, and I like filled in for a band on guitar for a little bit and stuff. But then I kind of wanted to start a new thing once again. So it started as a solo project, and then I kind of found band members to back me up, and then that kind of turned into it becoming just a normal band. So
Okay.
That was from Amelia Pond, right?
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah, Amelia Pond
That song
was the Theory and Context song.
I was gonna say I don't want to derail, but I was actually listening to that album for the first time in a while today, and I was like, damn, this still holds up pretty fucking well.
Thanks, man.
It's so funny because before I joined the band, I like listened to that song and I was like, this song. And I was like, I never would have thought that I would have like joined a band with Will because he was doing that at the time. It's just so weird.
Yeah. Now we're here.
Yeah, now we're fucking on a podcast, dude. It's so weird.
Yeah. Well, we're talking on a podcast. We're not. Never mind.
Yeah,
When the listener listens to this, we'll be on it. So
Yeah. True.
Kevin, are you eating pizza?
I am, because I'm a true pop punk person.
You know what?
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, we've had people eating pizza on here. Someone made a whole ass steak during the interview.
Yeah.
That was a wild one. That was
That was
interesting.
Did he sear it properly though?
I don't know. All we saw was his armpit because he like took us around, but didn't show us how he was making it. So he put the phone down. And all he saw was his armpit. I'm like, well, can we at least see the steak, bro?
Yeah.
It's a secret recipe, dude.
Yeah.
Secret recipe.
Exactly. That's what I assume. So like, it's cool. It's cool. Wait, so how did you guys meet then? Like, how did everybody meet and join the band?
We all met in a lot of different ways. Actually, like Kevin, James, and Ryan, I've semi-known for a while just from playing in different bands. James was the first of the bunch to jump on and come into the backing band. It was him and a few other guys at the time. And then we kind of like swapped some members around, and James actually knew Devin.
Yeah, we went to college together.
Oh, same.
Yeah, and I'll kind of let someone else pick up the story from there, I guess.
Yeah, no, that was pretty much it for Devin. I joined the band because Will made a post on probably Facebook about wanting like people for his new band, and I was like a fan of Theory and Context, so I was like, I want to work with him. And then I thought I wasn't going to be able to stick around, so I was like, I bet you my friend Devin would kill it in this band, and then we ended up just both staying.
Yeah, originally it was one guitar in the lineup, and I filled in for James, and it turned into like a 2-guitar thing.
Yeah.
But actually, if you back it up a little bit more than that, I don't think the other guys even know about this. Me and James were hanging out back in like, I think this was July of 2018, and we went to like a coffee house open mic thing together, and we were gonna do a song together, but we were trying to like figure out like what to play. James listens to a lot of indie rock music, which is dope. I listen to a lot of pop music, so we were having a hard time finding a song that like both of us knew how to play.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Oh, Black Butterflies and Deja Vu by The Main." And I was like, "Fuck yeah, I'm gonna sing that."
Yeah.
I was like, "Wait, how do you know that song?" And it was because Loyalty to Me was originally covering that at the first show. So we played that at the coffee house back in like July, and like since then I was just like, "Dude, if you quit this band, like I'm taking that guitar spot from you. I want to play The Main covers all day."
That's sick. I mean,
And we haven't played it since.
Yeah, pretty much. We've never done that song ever since I joined the band.
I actually met Kevin. Me and Kevin got drunk at a party together before we even had anything to do with this band.
We
At
did?
the bar. Yeah, at the bar, dude. Dude, me and you got drunk and just had a conversation randomly. We didn't know each other at all.
No, Ryan, you got really drunk at the party.
We had a conversation. We definitely did.
Yeah, no, you were sitting there and you were giving everybody, I think it was whiskey, and
Dude,
you looked at me.
I
And
sprained my wrist because some girl pushed me on the ground, and I had to make a makeshift cast. So then I was drinking like half a bottle of Kraken, and I didn't know it was happening. And Kyle kept trying to take my blood.
Your blood. wait, like a blood drive blood, or just taking his
so
blood?
our new friend, he's an EMT, and whenever anyone gets really drunk, he'll either say like, "I can give you an IV, or I can take your blood."
Wow.
So, yeah, I hope that answered your question.
It's kind of like, did anybody have to read that book, like the Canterbury Tales in like high school, where like everybody kind of like randomly runs into each other, and that's how everyone's introduced? Like that's our band. Like we all just randomly met each other over the course of a couple of years, and now we're a band.
Yeah, I mean, to round it out, basically, I was writing a song with Ryan one day, just like unrelated even to the band, and we had been thinking about finding someone new for bass anyway. So that's kind of when I asked him if he wanted to play bass for us. So that's when that happened. And then Kevin, I think January 2019 was his first show with us. So he was the final piece.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, January 20th, Mill Hill Basement.
yeah.
To be fair, I think the first day I met you was the first rehearsal you played with us. So
Yeah.
I don't think I ever knew you before that.
Yeah, I wasn't really even looking for anything serious because I was traveling a lot for work, and I basically said like, yeah, I'll like fill in when I can. And there's supposed to be like a rotating cast of drummers, and then we just vibed. We all just vibed really well together. So I got locked down, and now there's a ring on my finger. So I don't know.
Yeah.
And we're taking half of your money if you ever leave us, dude.
Oh my God.
Oh, okay.
You think I have money?
Okay, so shoot. Okay, so you guys just released an EP, which is sick, awesome. What made you choose the name Clash / Coexist? Do the forward slashes mean anything?
You took my
Does it
goddamn
represent
question, Glory.
anything?
I wanted it to be /////////////
Forward slash.
No, so
No,
I just think it looks cool. It's funny
Okay.
because I saw someone comment something similar on your post, but my friend Zach also, his band now has the slash thing, and he was like, "You stole this from us," and I was like, I didn't know that. Like, I'm pretty sure we thought of this a long time ago, just like independently, but
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just kind of random. I don't know. I thought it looked cool, basically.
Yeah.
It
Well,
does.
Slash wasn't strong enough.
Yeah. Well, I think the original thing was in Paint You Blue. There's a lyric, we're making steady progress, clashing but we're coexisting.
Okay.
And we just liked that sort of line. And so I think originally we thought about just calling it clashing but coexisting, but then we kind of wanted to mess with it and see if we could do something else with the idea, and that's just kind of where we landed.
Yeah. Awesome. That's sick. So
Yeah.
awesome.
I think it kind of grew on the album as a whole. Because we kind of decided on that before we finished recording EP. So it kind of, I don't know, brought this kind of like division between the two themes of the song, or the two themes of the EP. So because we did that before we ended up recording everything, it kind of brought kind of perspective to it.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just another element that could be layered into the themes of the EP, you know?
Yeah.
Right, because then we have the whole, we always fail to coexist line and layover in London and stuff like that. So it kind of like just felt like it worked with the thing as a whole, as opposed to just being like, okay, the one line we liked,
Yeah.
Well, and even some of the song titles, like 2 of the tracks on the EP are Paint You Blue and Magenta. So, and even some of the songs that take influences from different genres too. So we wanted to try to find some cohesion in that.
Yeah.
I think personally, I think that all of us really like different kinds of music. So it was only fitting that we kind of incorporated that into the title of the EP. Like, like it's like all of us like all these different things. How can we put that together and get this cohesive piece of art? You know what I mean? So it kind of is a representation,
Yeah, that's the really cool thing too, because like we all come from different musical backgrounds, but we all kind of meet in the middle with that love for like early 2000s era pop punk. So that's kind of like the yin and the yang coming together on that.
Yeah. Awesome.
For sure.
So how are you guys feeling about the reception to the new EP? I know it's only been a couple days, but
It's been good, man. I mean, it's hard not to be able to play shows for sure, but so far it's been good. I mean, we've been getting a lot more like reviews and articles and stuff, and it definitely feels good. It feels like we like took a step forward, like we have a complete work out there, which I think like once things do start again and we're looking to play more shows and more substantial shows, like now we have something to send to be like, hey, we have this whole body of work out here,
Yeah.
So I'm glad it's out for sure.
Definitely.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I mean, in general, I just feel like, I feel like it's definitely the best thing I've ever been a part of. So it's just like, it feels like we put a lot of time and work into it, and it's paying off. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, we like. I love all of the reception we're getting. It's like nobody has told me that they hate it, so
that's always good.
Yeah,
that's the biggest thing. And then from there, it's more just like I'm so appreciative that we could come together and make this, and just like schedule all these days at the studio and just make this happen. That I'm just still amazed that we can do it to begin with. So it's just any kind of positive reception is just layered on top of that. So it's just been a great experience.
Good to hear.
I think I would almost enjoy it. I don't know. I don't know because I haven't been there, but I feel like I would almost really enjoy it if there were some people that were just like, "This is the worst thing I've heard in my life." Like, I feel like I would get a real kick out of like, because on one hand, if people really hated it, like, it still like caused a reaction.
Yeah.
There's part of me that's like,
it's interesting because like there were a few people that left like some negative comments on like individual songs, whether they just weren't crazy about the vocals or they just didn't vibe with the song. But it's very, very minimal, and that just makes all of the praise like that much better because we know it's not superficial. Like we know people are really enjoying the music and that they're not just lying because they're our homies. Like people come to these shows, they know the words. I'm really excited to play shows again after the quarantine is done and the EP has been setting in people's brains for a couple of months because I'm sure there's going to be a lot of energy there.
Yeah, I think more people I don't know and more people that like more people whose opinions, I don't want to say hold more weight, but like more people that like people I wouldn't expect to like it, or people that aren't just my friends or whatever, are like saying stuff about it. And that always is what gets to me. Because of course all my friends are going to be like saying they like it no matter what, but I'm seeing more like people I've never like talked to before that like are really stoked about it. So that's when I get really like, that's when it feels the most affirming, and also just getting like opportunities like this where just like people are reaching out to us to do interviews and podcasts and stuff like that. Like I love all that stuff. So
Awesome. Yeah, that's really cool. Awesome. So where was everybody's headspace when you were making the EP?
I was So everyone's like my first. So I'm drummed, so I'm up 1st.
Mhm.
And I had a horrible time with the very first song we recorded. I was just not feeling it. I left all my stuff like home. I think I showed up like 2 hours late because I took a half day to work. And
Showed up too.
yeah, Ryan and I showed up like super late. I don't know. I had like none of my own gear, which I love my own gear. I didn't get to play on my cymbals or snare or pedal, but we kind of like turned it around. It ended up being a really cool experience. We all ended up vibing together. Honestly, we got a lot closer after the first time we all recorded together, because I think, what was that? 2.5 just straight days confined with each other, and before that, we had spent time together, but we'd never spent long periods of time just doing nothing. And I think for me, that's when I was able to tell, like, hey, I can like legitimately be in a band with these guys. We can sit and do nothing. We can sit and just kind of, I don't know, spend time with each other. Like, we were out of that honeymoon phase where we're all like polite to each other and nice to each other.
Yeah.
Like when you're in a relationship and like in the beginning, it's just like hugging, and like being happy, but like, there's like a real intimacy in silence. I got real intimate and real silent with these guys.
Yeah.
Yo, you handled that recording session so well too, because Brett Romness is a drummer, so like that must have been like really cool working with a producer who was like such a good drummer, but also like kind of pressure.
Yeah, I definitely felt like it was a combination of judgment and motivation. Like, I really have to bring my A game with this guy because he's first off, Brett Romness is an incredible audio engineer. Like, wow. I've recorded with a couple people, and I thought I found like this one other guy who was really good to record with, but Brett had such good vibes, I guess, just such a good approach to everything. He felt, he made us feel really comfortable, but at the same time, he had no like issue like telling us, hey, this part just doesn't work, just cut it. And we all, agreed with it because we all trusted him. Very quickly, there was like a mutual understanding of like, we're going to do this for the betterment of the music, of the sound. And it was just a very selfless recording process for all of us.
Yeah, I was like very stressed going in because I usually hate recording like so much. And like, I always feel like my best performances are always like certain live shows and I can never capture it in the studio and all that. And then we got there and I was still nervous because like I had to go last. So I was like waiting to record stuff. And it was, I think it was like, I didn't even start. We were there for like 2 full days or something. And I didn't even start recording vocals until like 10 PM on the second day.
Damn.
So like I was just sitting around waiting and like pacing and like being, but then I went in there and it was so easy because he's so like easy to work with and like he's so like affirming and like makes you feel positive and makes you pumped. So it ended up being like invigorating because it was kind of like it made me excited again about recording. So then like we did 2 separate sessions. So what we've been talking about thus far was our first session, but then months later, toward the end of the year, this was last summer, but then in the winter we went back and recorded 3 other songs. And during that time, like I was just pumped the whole time, like, and I felt super in the zone and I felt like I had a lot more ideas flowing and stuff. So I'm definitely glad we did it in two sets like that.
Yeah, I think one thing I was just kind of thinking about, I was thinking about it more because I was having a conversation with someone earlier today who also kind of wants to get into making music and putting out their own music and stuff like that. And I feel like making this EP really, like, more than ever taught me the value of a good producer. and not just someone who's a smart audio engineering and knows how to make good mixing choices. But the fact is, like, I think there was something sort of humbling about working with someone as experienced and good as Brett, because he sort of realized that, like, we are kind of new, even though we've been in several projects for a long time. And just the amount of experience that someone like him can bring to the table, I just feel like he really knew how to bring out the best in us. And, like, you know, you can sort of fight your way and, like, struggle to get to the next level.
Yeah.
But if you like talk to people and learn from people who are already there, it's so much smoother and it's so much easier, and it just feels, it's yeah, I can't give that dude enough credit for just making us a better band overall.
Yeah.
It kind of almost felt like it was a teaching moment, almost in like, this is not a competition, like music is not a competition. You're not competing to get better streaming numbers than the next band. You're not, we all listen to music and we all listen to different bands, and just to put out something that you're proud of and to make something of a caliber that you can appreciate, that's the goal. And to hope that other people will appreciate that in the same way. It's as, like Kevin said, a selflessness to the body of work itself is, I think, what we really achieved and what we really wanted to get out of this whole experience. And I think that just kind of thrust us forward to want to create more music. Honestly, like, this whole experience has just made us that passionate about creating more and just putting stuff out there as much as we possibly can.
Yeah. Okay. So you guys touched on this a little bit earlier on, but if you want to go more in depth, what bands influenced the sound of the EP?
Lot of hee-hee-hoo-hoos. Okay.
Kevin, say what kind of music you like, because Layover influenced that.
Yeah, so we all started laughing, I think, because whenever this gets brought up, we tend to basically tell everybody, hey, none of us listen to, like, really the same stuff. There's, like, some overlap, but a lot of us listen to completely different stuff. Definitely pull from influence that, like, has nothing to do with each other. Like, 90% of all the music I listen to is just straight up, like, electronic house music. I don't really listen to, like, too much, like, punk rock music. I mean, like, I like it. Like, I definitely have my 12-year-old fantasy of, like, seeing My Chemical Romance front stage, like, front row. Okay, that's, like, a given. But, like, in every single day, like, I'm listening to, like, and that's cool and all. Yeah. But, like, I really brought that out from, I brought that into my drumming, because I don't really want, I don't have any real flashy fills. I think there's, like, 2 fills I do in, like, the entire EP. I don't like drummers that do flashy fills. Like, if you're a drummer out there and you like flashy fills, do you? That's not me.
Dude, but the one at the end of Magenta hits so hard, though.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that feels so good, and that feels more powerful because of it too. Because, like, there's not, like, any other fills in that song, so you get to that one moment, I'm just like, yes, this makes me so happy.
I think that's one fill, and I think there's. Is there any other, like, legitimate? I don't think so.
I can't think of one at the end of the rest too.
There's one at the end of the rest.
That one always stands out.
That's the only other fill I do in the whole EP. Hold on, I have a piece of delivery. Someone else can take this.
Yeah, I do want to. You mentioned the song "Layover" in London, and it had been out for a couple months already. But the day that we went in James's basement and wrote that, I had listened to the new Death Cab for Cutie record for the first time. So that was kind of a big influence, like, writing that intro riff, which I kind of had a variation of that I'd had stuck in my head for a couple of years, but it was never quite right. And then after hearing Death Cab for Cutie record, like, I was just inspired to write a riff in that style. Mm-hmm. And Reliant K was another big influence that I think we have a lot of overlap in. Reliant K, Yellow Card, a couple bands in that vein.
Mayday Parade.
Taste.
Mayday Parade's a big one.
Taste.
Yeah.
Although,
I think-
sorry, go ahead.
No, you go, Will. You go.
Yeah, the one thing interestingly enough, like, I mean, I would say like sonically, like, yeah, like Mayday Parade and Cartel and bands like that. But like, in terms of lyrics, like, it's funny, but like, I listen to a lot of like lyrical hip hop and stuff like that, and I just feel like a lot of rappers like pay more attention to stuff like cadence and like how the words actually sound. So like, funnily enough, even though like I don't rap at all or anything, like I pay that same level of attention to detail with like rhyme schemes and cadences and like the way the words actually sound coming off your tongue and stuff like that. Like, I'm always like kind of dissecting that. So
It's funny, when we were in the studio, on one of those sessions, I had a paper due for a graduate class, and I did like a thesis report on Kendrick Lamar's "To Pimp a Butterfly." So that's what I remember the most of the second studio session, was just being stressed as fuck trying to write that paper.
Wow.
yeah.
I think when I think about like influence, I feel like I think I like Kevin and I share some sentiment on this too, that like when we're kind of fleshing out instrumentals, you know, because I do more instrumental stuff than vocal stuff generally.
Okay.
But like I feel like usually the core of these songs, usually it comes from Will, or Ryan will bring some of it, or Devin will bring some of it, or, you know, we'll kind of all have our moments. But I kind of like to like take the mindset as if this were a singer-songwriter project, because I feel like the vocals are the strongest thing. So I do think about like how I like to think about how some guitarists that I really like back up that sort of thing, and how like a lot of my favorite guitarists you know, will have a lot of sort of moving lines under the vocals to kind of like give motion to it more than be the center of attention. You know, I can think of like At the Drive-In or Hop Along or Bent Knee, or like some of all my favorites that do that. But really, I'm not like, I feel like I steal little things I like from guitarists, but I'm not trying, I don't think the music we make sounds anything like what they do. I feel like I'm usually trying to keep in mind, like, for this idea that we have written, what suits it well, what was brought to the table, and how can I like take the things that I like that other people do and make it work in this style.
Yeah. That makes plenty of sense.
Yeah, I agree. I think that we all just try to it's a balance between complimenting each other and it's like for the greater good kind of thing. Like, it's not like, I don't know, some bands it's like, now is the bass feature, now is the guitar solo, now is this, now is that. It's not really about that. It's more like, how can we make this the best possible?
Yeah.
You know, that's it. That's all we really care about. So, and I think that each one of us feels the same exact way, which is like extremely rare. So.
Cool. Sick. All right. Good answers from both of you. Yeah. So what song do you think took the longest to write? Like, which one was dragging a little, but you picked it up at the end?
Rewrites.
Rewrite. Oh yeah. Rewrite.
Ironically, like perfectly ironically, because the song's called Rewrites. There was a lot of different.
Yeah.
There was
a very different song. I think that originally the beginning of the second verse, there's this kind of like faster vocal part that Will opens up the second verse with. We used to like all cut out for like that entire section. I think Devin used to sing it. The solo and the bridge were a completely different part.
Yeah, like a organ too.
Yeah.
Well, Kevin, you're forgetting like one very key detail though. Like, it took us like 6 months to just get that song to be in tempo.
Yeah.
So we had like a lot of time to think about like how we wanted to change it, because just getting that guitar riff, because you had a really cool syncopated drum beat, which and getting that to line up with the guitar riff just wasn't happening, like even to a click. And then when we brought it to Brett, like, we barely had to practice it. Like, after we made those edits, it just fell into place, which is just goes to show, going off James's point, how important it is to have, like, a really great producer, because they're going to help guide you in the right direction when it comes to the little things.
Also, the outro used to be like a minute and a half long. It was very long. I liked it, though. There's parts of that outro I kind of miss. But it was a very long outro originally.
Yeah. You know what's funny, though?
Yeah, Rewrites was, like, longer than Layover originally.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. But realistically, all of our songs, they were all, like, we all thought they were done. But then once we actually hit the studio, that's when we found out none of them were done. Like, no.
But, like, they've maintained their essence, you know? Like, it's funny because, like, I think I said this in the last podcast I did, but, like, to us, they changed so much, but, like, my friends, I don't even think they noticed. They're like, oh, it's different now? I, like, didn't even, like, it's so funny, because to us, like, all these little, like, things changed about it, but I guess, like, general people, like, we've played them both ways, and they're just like, oh, yeah, that's Paint You Blue, either way, you know? So it's interesting. But, yeah, I'm glad, I mean, that just speaks to Brett, like, he was able to, you know, keep the songs as the songs that we love, but just, like, bring out the best in them. So I think that speaks to how well that went. But, yeah, definitely Rewrites took the longest, but we're glad because it ended up being the single and everything. So
I used to honestly hate Rewrites. I didn't like the song. I know, I really didn't. And it wasn't until after the studio, I was like, oh, it kind of came together. The same thing with the rest. I remember originally it was part of the first recording session, and I don't want to say I used to dread playing it, but I'll say I used to dread playing it.
Yeah, that's fair.
But we made, like, these very subtle changes. Like, the second verse has a bit of a different feel to it. But the chorus is pretty much the same. I think the first verse is a little different too, but the whole song by itself really is the same song as before, just kind of taken to the next level.
Yeah, the rest almost had like a ballad feel, which when we first wrote it, it was like acoustic-y, and now it's just a big anthem.
Dude, it's because remember I changed the bass line because Vince was playing the old bass line, and I kept half of that, and I put that first note in there to drop the octave, and it just gave it like that kind of like apocalyptic thing, you know what I mean? Like, I was like, wait a minute, let's do this instead, and then it kind of changed.
Yeah, and then we made the chorus kind of bigger, I think, and stuff in the recording. So, yeah,
it's way bigger than it was before, but
yeah.
But it came out great, so.
Yeah, definitely.
What's it like dropping a debut EP in, like, the current world situation? Because you guys can't tour for it, so, like...
Sad.
I almost forgot. I woke up on Thursday, I was like, oh, tomorrow's the day.
Yeah, no, I had someone sent, so we use Discord for, like, our normal day-to-day band chat, and I think it was Will that sent, like, man, tomorrow's the day, guys. And I kind of looked down and was like, oh, that's not, like, next month? Like, it's strange.
Yeah, I mean, to come at it from the opposite way, for me at least, it's like, because I like haven't been working and haven't been able to, like, do anything pretty much, it's like the one thing that keeps me pumped. So for me, it's been, like, very necessary in a way, because I don't really have anything else to be pumped about right now, you know. So it's nice to have something out and do stuff like this. Like, I'm doing another podcast on Friday, and it's like doing all these little, you know, press quote unquote things for it, and kind of like doing like the little live streams and stuff. Like it all gives me something to look forward to.
Yeah. And
One thing that's
okay.
no, you go, James.
No, okay. I was just gonna say, on one hand, there is the fact that like I think a lot of other people like people kind of have less to do with their time, so it feels like more people are probably willing to check stuff out right now.
Yeah.
Which is good. But I mean, that's so true for me too, Kevin, because life's like kind of a blur right now. So I remember like once it was out, I was really happy. Like, oh, this is out, awesome! I can put myself behind this. But I think if we were more active right now, I think in a weird way, it was less stressful to put it out because we didn't have to do as many events around it.
Yeah.
Not that I'm that happy about it. It's just the silver lining to everything, I guess. Because, yeah, I woke up on Friday and then like an hour or two later realized that REP was out.
Like, oh shit, it's out.
Yeah, like, oh,
it happened.
it happened.
Drop.
It was really... But so far, yeah, the fact that like it's out and like it's there and people like it is just made this past week like so much better for me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I think the this whole quarantine thing has been super traumatic for me because I'm a middle school teacher, and I think March 20th was like the first official day of it, and then March 27th was the day that the Rewrites music video dropped. So pretty much as long as this quarantine's been happening, has been this EP launch cycle, and it's just helped me get through it. And if it helped the listeners get through it too, putting out the first music video, putting out our second single. We have another music video coming out for one of the other songs in June, and just
Stay tuned.
just kind of stay tuned.
Yeah,
So
I'm
just made things more manageable.
Yeah.
Because, like, I don't know, like, if everybody just decided that they didn't want to put out music during quarantine just because, like, oh, I might not get as many streams, all this stuff, I can't actually tour, then nobody would have any new music, like, it would just make it that much worse for everybody else.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of like, let's just do it, and that's just, this is just the way it was meant to happen, kind of.
And it wasn't our intention, but I think it's been the opposite effect. Like James mentioned, I think way more people are listening just because they have the time and they're hungry for new content and new media to consume.
Hell yeah.
I think this entire thing was a real surprise in terms of timing. I mean, we locked down most of our entire EP cycle, media and like timeline. I think maybe February was when everything was generally finalized. Mm-hmm. And then like 2-3 weeks later, everything shut down. But luckily, we all had a plan. We all knew, all right, these are the dates we're aiming for. Originally, we were going to try to book a tour, but instead, we're trying to push out other content. I got to be honest, for me, like this EP has been kind of stressful because I'm fortunate enough. So Will has definitely had to like crack his whip at me like a few times. We're recording like home content, some stuff like that. We did a live stream, and I definitely into that stuff. Sorry, Will.
No, it's fine. No, you're right. And I think we all get it though. It's like I'm not working, so I have the time to do more stuff like that. So I like, we all have our kind of different roles. So
yeah,
makes sense to me.
You're so right about that, Kevin. With like us just having a plan in place, like the fact that we were prepared meant that locking down didn't actually affect us putting this thing out because we've had this plan in place for like months.
Mm-hmm.
So I suggest being prepared, everybody.
If it happened like maybe a month and a half earlier, it'd be a lot tougher. It'd be a lot tougher.
We definitely
we hashed a lot of this stuff out in person. We got into arguments. A couple of us got movie. But we have to. I mean, that's the only way, like, if you're in a band of 5 and we all generally have equal voices in this band, there's going to be disagreements. And it's hard to do those disagreements, like, via video call. I mean, but I can't yell at you louder.
I think we spent like 2 hours at dinner, like just discussing the order of the tracks
Oh,
Wow.
in New Brunswick. Like, just
It's we have some long conversations about seemingly very small things, but in the end, it's all like comes together. Like,
Exactly.
you know, it's just like, I don't know, the perspective when you're in those conversations, you're like, this is huge. Why did I care about that so much?
well, also when it comes to like differences of opinion, like when you have the time to like talk it out and like see why someone else like thinks that way, like then you like you change your mind about things, you know.
Well, yeah.
Whereas
The thing
like
Sorry.
Go ahead, Will.
I was just gonna say the thing I like about these guys is like the conversation doesn't stop at like, well, I disagree with you. It goes on, and we're like, well, why? You know, and then once you get down to like why everyone feels like you should do something a certain way, then you can be like, well, we're all kind of trying to get at the same thing, so let's kind of like combine our ideas and what we're all trying to do, and like just kind of like figure out what makes the most sense, you know? So everyone's like super down to really like have long talks about everything and have everything be very planned and stuff. And it's cool because like at the end of the day, sorry.
I'm just going to throw one thing out there. I think like if it came to the most polarizing opinions, it's probably me and Kevin. But every time me and Kevin have both agreed on something, it's happened. Which is pretty awesome.
Me and Will got to get at it too.
What?
Us as a group, I mean, we're all it's very rare, and I mean it happens, but it's very rare where like a single one of the five of us goes, I don't really care about this particular thing. Whatever you guys want. I think more so now it happens because we
I
kind of
trust all of
realize
you.
aren't as important. But I like working with passionate people. Like, even if you vehemently oppose what I think is best, and I will argue my heart out against you, I want you to argue back. Like, tell me I'm wrong, and I'll tell you why you're wrong, and then we'll come together, and something will happen. I don't know what, but good things happen, because we have to make a decision, whether it's track order, whether it's, adding a harmony in a certain spot, using a certain like piece of artwork. It took a while for us to make some of the most mundane decisions.
Well, I remember like, it's I think it's just a common thing with creatives where like you're passionate about something and like it extends beyond just like, the songs and the lyrics. Like you're so passionate about it that like every move you make, you're equally passionate about, whether it be like one thing or another. Like I remember watching an interview with Issues about making their new album, and they were saying how they were like screaming at each other about like the placement of one little kick drum within like a 30-second note of each other for like 2 hours. And I was like, yeah, that makes sense because it's like you really care about it,
Yeah.
So it's cool. It's kind of cool because I've worked with people that are just kind of do go like, hey, do whatever you want, I don't care, and that's worse because it's like you want everyone to be. It's more fulfilling when everyone's really into it,
Yeah, maybe some people would get impatient at like sort of the lack of like efficiency in some ways, because like I was just thinking about like how much time and how many conversations went into this, and it almost felt like a joke to me when I looked down at Spotify and it's like total length 17 minutes 43 seconds. I'm like, this is not a lot of music. We put so much work into this.
Yeah, but it's like, so you guys put like a lot of thought and effort into it, and that genuinely like means a lot coming from a listener, knowing that you guys put like that amount of time and energy just even like track listing. Like that's
shows
crazy.
when you're listening
Thank
to
you.
it as well.
Exactly.
It's cool, man. I mean, I thank you. I'm glad it comes across.
Yeah, definitely.
We thought about everything from like, the cadence of certain lyrics to like, I think there was maybe like 2 full hours that we spent figuring out the spacing of the lettering on the front of the CD. And like,
Wow.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even not the placement, because we had already figured out we wanted top left. We know what we wanted there, but we wanted like certain spaces. All right, well, what if we made the slashes black instead of white? Maybe like reverse, should we make it hollow? And at one point,
Same for
I
the
know
shirts,
like,
dude.
it was
We wanted the slashes lined up with the letters underneath, dude.
Yep.
That's why.
Yeah. I remember I told Will, I was like, wait a minute. Like, make it line up, like, you know, like old school ASCII text where one character takes up the same amount of space as any character. So instead of like, you know, like where eyes are really close together, they'll be like properly spaced out.
Yeah.
I was like, Will, and he was like, you know, fuck you. Honestly, fuck you. Do it, but it's going to take a while, and I see what you're trying to do, but still, fuck you, Kevin. And
I just remember being so pissed off about my phone getting blown up, like in the band chat, that I pulled over on the Garden State Parkway just to chime in whenever that happened.
Wow.
It's worth it.
Oh my god, yeah. I mean, jeez. Wow.
Damn.
Yo, Will, can you show off the new EPs again? These just finally arrived today.
We just got them.
Damn, those are
The
hot.
slashes are lined up with the text underneath.
That is
Yeah.
a hot
Dude,
CD.
that looks sick.
Courtesy of
yeah,
Kevin.
that's
They're on
actually
our website if you want to check them out.
Bro, I might have to.
LoyaltyToMe.com/store.
Oh
That,
my god.
Gloria and
I
I
might
might
sell
get
them.
2 orders.
We might actually-
Oh, sick.
Bro, those look like those. Wait, I don't have the money for it, but are you guys making vinyls for it? Because that is like artwork that I would want. Like,
Yo, I want to. Help me out here
Maybe.
because I am 100% about that. Like a limited vinyl run.
yeah.
I mean,
It's
if
so
people
expensive
support
to
it,
make.
yeah, if people support us enough, then maybe we'll
Yeah.
see.
I mean, Ryan's got a lot of blank cassettes.
I have
Yeah, but that's even smaller.
it's so like collectible. I see like a lot of people going for like cassettes now. So like that'd be really cool too. Oh my
My
god.
grandfather had a cassette recorder, so I just used that, and I'm just like, gotta spend like 12 hours making like 5 of them.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, the biggest thing is that. Sorry.
we actually got the CDs a little late, and that kind of ties back to this is we put in an order for those CDs a super long time ago, and we didn't get them till now. You know, just because of production delays and shipping delays. I mean, with the entire nationwide crisis, you know that we unfortunately weren't able to get our bundles and our pre-orders out to people. You know, but now, hey. We can get it to you guys.
Well, I just bought one. So.
Yeah, I don't know when this interview's coming out, but
Sorry.
Thanks.
Yeah.
they'll be in the mail by the time that people are listening who ordered bundles. So
Awesome.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, I think just like
Hey, Pat.
very stoked in general, and I'm stoked that we're all stoked. I think we're all super stoked.
Yeah.
I'm stoked like a campfire, man. I'm ready.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome, dude. Well, I'm gonna try and buy a CD. I need to check my account, but like, you might get 2. So that's
No
yeah,
problem.
I'm excited.
I'm shipping like everything out tomorrow. So
Awesome.
Oh, sick. All right. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, we have merch. Our merch was like it came out really legit. It's we ended up having like 2 designs. I'm a huge fan of like this one particular design, but both of them came out great. They're both like really different than each other, which I am a fan of. You know, one of them's more of like a light pink, lavender, purplish type of flowery design.
Yeah.
The other one's like this sandy, like desert gray design with like the high visibility orange, which is like a huge fashion thing right now.
You know what you like, Kevin?
I know. I love that. The it's like that gray
the hacker tee.
visibility design. It's just so like trendy. I'm all about that.
it's made of sand, actually.
Oh,
Yeah.
for real? Whoa.
Don't let it. It'll just plummet.
Aw. Sad.
No, they're really like soft t-shirts. We've
Bella and Canvas.
yeah. If there's anyone listening that already has our long sleeves, they're soft like that.
If there's
And
anyone
anyone
that,
that doesn't have the long sleeve, just imagine a really soft thing.
oh my god, my brother's wearing our merch, so
Oh, fire.
Oh, that's the OG design from like.
That-
That's
that
the first
one's
merch item we ever put out.
That one's not on Bella Canvas.
Yeah, that one's definitely not a Bell and Canvas.
Oh, okay, okay.
Well, I hope you like it though.
It's a nice design. It's a very nice design.
Yo, my mom wears that long sleeve all the time.
Yeah, so does my dad.
Sick. Alright. So,
Yeah.
moving back to music for like a quick
Just a second.
I didn't know how to go back to that.
A segue.
Yes, I didn't know how to segue. So moving back to music for a second, what song are you looking forward to playing live the most from the EP, of course? Like, which one are you?
So there's a song that we haven't played live yet called Magenta, and we purposely haven't been playing that song live because we wanted to save something for after the EP came out. Also, we just needed more time to practice it before we incorporated it into our live set.
Yeah.
And I don't know, that song changed a lot. I think it has Will's best vocal performance ever, period. He did some really cool falsetto stuff on that song. And it was a candidate to be one of the singles. It wasn't, but it was a strong candidate. So I'm just stoked to play it live.
I'm actually most stoked about Rewrites because, funnily enough, we haven't actually played that at a show yet. We've only played it at practice. It feels like we've played it at a show, but we've really only...
haven't played the current version yet.
We haven't
What?
played it since we've
Play
recorded.
the old version.
Oh, a long time ago, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, we haven't played
in its current state, we have it as the set closer now, and we have this intro and stuff, and I'm actually most excited about that because I know that that's the one everyone will know the words to, and we just haven't gotten a chance to play it yet. We had this big show planned for the day the song was coming out, and I was really excited about that, and then that was obviously got canceled. So,
Mhm.
so I would say Rewrites. Actually, I'm probably most stoked about.
Awesome.
Funnily
I'm
enough,
I really just want to have a show where we can play the EP from start to finish. That's what I'm mostly excited about.
yeah.
We don't have to do that at every show, but it would be cool to have a show where we just play the whole thing. Don't even stop between songs. Just keep all the transitions.
Oh,
Yeah, that would be cool.
I'm so mad we couldn't play that Wonder Bar show, dude. I was gonna bring my dog.
Yeah.
I want to do Magenta too, mostly because it's for the most selfish reason ever, which is that for most of the outro, all I do is make guitar feedback, and any excuse I get to do that on a stage is just greatly I get so much joy out of making the worst sounds I can on my instrument.
I mean, guitar.
Just
feedback.
pour beer on the amp.
Oh my god. Oh,
Dude,
that hurt.
That breaks so hard for me too. I'm just
I'm
like,
also kind of it's hard to explain, but this is especially for me, I guess, because I open this song, but we open our sets a lot with Paint You Blue, and it's starts with me singing, and it's super visceral. I don't know. So I just can't wait for the first show back, and we get on stage and we play that song, and it's just we're back,
Actually, that's what I was going to say. I originally thought I might be most excited to play Layover in London because that's my favorite song to listen to. But our EP opens up with Paint You Blue, where it's got Will singing some Devin playing guitar. It's very distorted. Things are kind of sound almost far away, very lo-fi-ish, and then hits like a truck once it drops. That's what I'm excited for. I want that first drop in our first show, and people that
rush,
I want people to go, fuck.
fuck. You hated recording too. That's the one you hated.
I know. I hated recording that, but I gotta say, I just want that shit to drop.
Yeah.
It will. And it's cool. It's cool because I feel more people know it now because it's out. We've been playing it for a while, but now it's out. So hearing people sing along would be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Skate park show.
Yeah. Yeah, we're planning. I think one of our first shows back maybe at a skate park, which will be cool.
Ooh, that sounds sick.
So stay tuned for details.
Hell yeah. So where do you see the band in the next 5 years?
5-year plan. Very
Good
cool.
plan. I mean,
Given our pace, maybe finally wrapping up whatever we're recording next. No, I'm just kidding.
given our pace, we'll finish touring the EP.
Yeah. Given, no, but I hope in all honesty, I hope that in 5 years we've at least got one other like release out.
Yeah.
And we're just, I hope the world goes back to some sense of normalcy and gigging and touring is an option again.
Yeah.
That'd be nice.
If that is the case, that's absolutely what I want to be doing. And just writing more songs together, because I think just kind of the very first songs we wrote together versus sort of this batch, and like just kind of where they've ended up and how far we've gone. I just feel like there's a lot there, and I'm kind of just and I'm really excited by some of the little demos we have floating around.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, what this one taught me is that your songs aren't done until they're recorded.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, if you're a jam band, they aren't done anyway, but we're not a jam band. But like, it was recording was like such a cool process that I just want to do it again. And I feel like the hope is that we keep getting better at it, and that we can do what we're doing, but bigger, and then we can do a bunch of stuff that we didn't think was really an option for us.
Yeah, I think if you get caught up in like, we want to be playing this size show by this year, I think that you might get there, but you might have rushed yourself to get there, or forced yourself to get there and then realize this isn't really all it's cracked up to be anyway. Really, I just hope that we continue to be content and continue to evolve and improve.
Yeah.
So
there's a lot of.
There's my answer.
I'm mostly excited about touring, and just I just really want to travel. I grew up in a big family, so we couldn't really afford to go on vacation other than once. And there's places I want to see. I'd love to, in 5 years, have played shows in Europe, both coasts. Definitely putting out another release too. I don't give a shit if we're playing for a bar of 3 people, or a stage with thousands of people. Obviously, the latter would be preferable, but just having the opportunity to travel because of something that we created corporately would. That's all I could ask for to be fulfilled.
In 5 years, we're gonna own a van.
Oh,
Hell yeah.
yeah.
That's achievable. We could do that. We could buy a van.
Totally do that.
We could probably go own a van sooner. I mean,
Yeah, but if in 5 years we're gonna own it, we get it next year, we'll own it in 5 years.
So we
I mean,
hope
the
if we
cool
buy
thing-
a van next year, it lasts for 4 more years.
wait a minute, hold on. If we buy a van, we're making more than the minimum payment. Come on, we have to be financially responsible.
Bro,
Yeah, we got to pay cash for that thing. Also, I don't want to rush into that just because paying insurance on that's going to be a bitch.
Oh yeah, definitely.
This is how it evolved into very specific discussion about
Let's
I
not,
think it's cool that just even the fact that you're able to ask that and we're all able to think about it. I just feel like there's a sense in this band of not permanence, because nothing's permanent, but we all seem excited to keep going with it, and I happy to see it through to wherever it goes,
Mm-hmm.
So it feels nice, because I feel like you could have asked that to a previous band I was in, and we would all be I don't know about these guys,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool that I feel comfortable staying with it. So
I think 5 years, the only real goal I have with this band is just to keep on playing because they're my friends. So I think that's a pretty easy set the hold on, but I really need to set something straight. That's just me setting the bar really low, so I'm not disappointed.
Oh.
yeah.
Yikes.
hell. Oh my god.
I'm gonna keep playing, and as long as they keep on playing, I'll be happy.
Yeah.
Oh shit!
I just had to ruin that feel good moment for a second. We got some.
I'm like, oh, that was so cute, and then you were like, oh, never mind.
Yeah,
That's the
actually, fuck these guys.
Actually,
Wait, are we allowed to swear on this podcast? Did we talk about that at all?
Yeah, you're
I already
allowed.
messed that up, dude. You're
Shit, I was like, wait a minute.
Just no slurs.
Am I gonna be that
please.
guy?
Please, no slurs.
no slurs.
No slurs.
Yeah.
It's the internet. Come on.
Yeah, come on.
It feels courteous to the podcast host.
Oh,
Fuck me for trying to be nice, Kevin.
Yeah, god damn it, Kevin.
exactly.
It's all your fault.
That's a phrase that's heard a lot. God damn it, Kevin. Especially from Lloyd.
Fuck you,
Kevin,
Kevin.
I don't say that at all. I say weird shit like, I don't know, like, put that hay in my ass. Put that hay in my ass.
What?
You did post that. You posted that earlier today. So yeah, you are
Oh my
true.
god.
I sent it to you. I sent it to you, Kevin. You didn't appreciate it.
I really love that about this band because most of us have like some thread of just straight shit lord. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Will keeps us in line.
No, I think I just take it too seriously.
Like,
Yeah,
No,
Will's
they're
Will's here with like
Will-
a straight face, and everybody else is like, we're shit.
I'm always like, but really, guys, actually.
They're,
can
they're
we
sending
get-
memes in the band chat, and Will's like, can we have a serious discussion for 2 seconds?
But Will, Will, I've spent most of my musical career being that person. It's so liberating having you do that.
Yeah.
Ryan, what does put that hay in my ass even mean?
I was about to
Because
ask.
I kind of wanted to catch you on.
If you have to ask.
Up in my head, I like woke up and I'm like, this is it for today, dude. I'm like, I don't know what this means.
It just came to you.
It literally did. Like, it was bestowed upon me,
Oh
and
my
I had
God.
to just deliver it to the world.
Oh
Wow.
my god.
Wow.
That's understood today.
Thank you for sharing it with us. I really appreciate it. It was good.
Yeah,
I
I
heard
mean,
that live on the Good Noise podcast. Oh shit.
It's good.
All
Okay,
right.
so
As we already have.
yeah, so for the last couple questions, we're gonna move away from music if we were on that topic, and we're gonna go straight to death row. So, if you guys are on death row, what would your last meal be? With a drink. With a drink.
All right, I got it.
Spit
Okay.
it at us.
I don't mind.
Pork roll and egg on an everything bagel, extra
Ooh.
egg and hot sauce.
Okay.
That's going to be my food. And then, honestly, like, just my regular drink from Starbucks, which is I get my venti cold brew with light ice, a shot of espresso, and the vanilla syrup in there.
Ooh.
That's my regular drink at Starbucks. So, basically what I already eat almost every day.
Okay. I mean,
you
it's
want
good.
consistency in life and in death. Okay.
Yeah.
He died as he lived. See, I was just gonna say endless. I was just gonna say endless breadsticks, so the meal never ends, and I can just cheat
yeah.
death and never, then I don't die.
That's
It's
the
Yeah.
same energy as the cheese things from Taco Bell, the one guy from Cheers Bricks.
Oh yeah, yeah. Somebody was like, "I'm gonna just save all my money, just my entire life, if I do end up on death row, and I'm just gonna spend all of it on like
The cheesy roll-ups.
triangle things at Taco Bell." And so then they just keep buying it and buying it, so then they just don't die.
Wait,
Yeah.
triangle.
Oh my god.
Wait, what are those?
The
I-
cheesy
I'm not
roll-ups
sure.
or whatever the hell they're called.
Yeah, cheesy roll-ups.
I've never had this.
I'm not googling Taco Bell triangles. What do you mean?
No,
Okay,
no.
maybe as a side you could throw in for me those they're so bad for you but they're so good. You know those like special Fritos that are like honey barbecue and they're like corkscrew
Oh, bruh.
and they have like 200 grams of fat in each
Oh,
bag.
that
Yeah.
sounds wonderful.
It sounds like
They're
cancer.
so
I
good.
like those bags because those bags don't lie to you. There's not that much air in them.
Yeah, they're full.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
The Fritos honey barbecue flavor twists,
Oh yeah.
those they're packed in there.
Oh,
No. Yo,
I always get like so annoyed when we bring those to band practice because then I have like Fritos dust all over my fingertips while I'm trying to play guitar, but I also just don't care because they're so good.
Exactly. It's worth the risk.
Yeah.
It's worth
Kevin, what's your meal?
You get the little bag and you like lift it to your face, and you're like a barbarian, but your guitar's cleaner. So
Exactly.
you're like,
Okay, I have a very specific meal.
Spit it out.
So the thing about me, I don't enjoy food.
Really?
You've been eating the entire podcast.
I understand I'm eating pizza, but I'm eating pizza because I have to.
Okay, I get that.
Like, if it was up to me, if there was like a tasteless just block of substance that I could just eat, and I wouldn't have to eat other things for the rest of my life, I would do that. I would do that. I would end up eating all Taco Bell, all chips, candy. I don't care. I would do that. But since that's not the case, and I'm a human being, my last meal would definitely just be a lot of candy.
A lot of candy. Okay.
A lot of candy. I would request a lot of cheese cubes.
Cheese cubes, like the little serving platter cheese cubes.
Yeah, the little cheese cubes.
The little tiny ones.
I enjoy the sensation of swallowing cubes.
Okay. That's a new one. That's a very new one. I haven't heard that one before. Okay.
No, and Ryan's not here, but they've all heard this before.
I was say Will was rolling his eyes because he's like this again.
This again, they've all heard this before. I really love swallowing cubes.
Wait, so you don't chew them?
No. See, like it's the corners that feel good in my throat. It's like firm and just kind of like I'm taking a pointed squeegee to my throat, which is so I swallow some cheese cubes, eat some Sour Patch Kids. Ryan, I'm talking about how I like to swallow cubes.
Bro, I knew you were gonna bring this shit up, dude.
I'm in fucking awe.
He likes the corners. He likes the corners when they go down his throat.
Oh my god.
Oh man.
Devin, what's your meal, man?
I told you.
Yo, I'm like, are we being realistic, or are we just talking about like favorite foods? Because like if I was actually on death row and like being sent like to the electric chair, I'd probably like request Holy Communion from the Pope and just hope that it takes him a really long time to get there. But
you're gonna eat the Pope?
Oh, hot.
Oh.
Nice.
No, Ryan, that's not what I said.
Cannibalism.
He didn't.
Yo, but I'm a big like. I'm like really big into like serial killer movies and shit like that. And there's actually a book called The Death Row Cookbook. And it's like literal pictures of last meals from a chef that was on death row, like the death row chef.
Yeah.
And there was like this one. I'm trying to figure out who the murderer was. He got like it was just a basic like bacon cheeseburger, but he like poured his guts into that bacon cheeseburger, and it looked delicious. So I'll let you know when I figure out who that serial killer was.
All right.
So real talk, I think I want a bowl of ramen because like really good ramen is like the best thing ever. Like, but anyway, yeah.
Yo, or my grandma's mac and cheese.
Ryan,
I
what's
fucks
your
with
meal?
that.
Dude, wait, James, I went to Japan and they had this ramen, but it was like a stew, and it was so thick, dude.
Oh, that sounds awesome.
Oh wow.
So,
Thick with 3 C's.
it was like
Wait, never mind. I was gonna say something dumb, which is like, isn't pho just thick ramen, but not really.
What? Wait, like fudge the candy?
No. PHO, like the Vietnamese soup.
Oh, I haven't heard that.
I
It's
heard
sort of-
fudge.
Oh yeah. No, it's similar to ramen, but it's not. I don't think it's like I know ramen's usually generally pork bone as its base.
Uh-huh.
It's pork bone. Well, it's pork bone and soy is the thing.
Yeah.
It's soy based.
I don't know what pho's made out of, but there's way more stuff in it. Ramen's way more broth.
Yeah, it's mostly.
And that was
pork bone based,
all I had for my joke. That was like I have nothing.
It was a good joke.
My answer still stands. I still want candy, gum, cheese cubes. Period.
I know what I want. I want a specific pie. What is that place called? Wait.
Is it the one in Connecticut?
No, there's a pie place near me in Princeton. I literally got a pie from there last week.
Was it strawberry rhubarb pie?
No, what the fuck?
That's it's underrated.
my god.
Wait, I need to find this.
I think
Or-
strawberry rhubarb is underrated pie
Already
flavor.
got-
I've never had it.
Me
so
neither.
I can't say you're wrong.
Dude, rhubarb is weird as fuck. Have you ever seen a rhubarb plant?
Wait, Ryan, are you talking about pizza pie or like pie?
What?
Pizza pie or pie?
Pie.
Pie. Blueberry pie. So there's this pie place in Princeton called Terhune Orchards, and they just sell all kinds of pie. And they have this one pie that has blueberries in it, but the blueberries are super small.
Oh.
And it is amazing. It is honestly, I don't even know. I don't even have the words to
I get
describe
that.
how pie is. You just put some vanilla ice cream on there.
Mhm.
Holy shit.
Just a dollop.
Just a dollop.
Yeah.
It's great.
Solid.
And then Will bought me this Java chip Frappuccino one time.
Those are so good. Those are so good.
Yeah, they are good.
So good. You know what? I'll add one thing. I will add a frozen coffee drink, but not
Okay.
the. I'll add an iced cap from Tim Hortons with whipped
Okay.
cream
Okay.
because
Iced
they have a more frozen coffee drink than Dunkin' Donuts.
Okay.
Oh. Ooh.
I love Tim Hortons. And if you like another coffee thing more than that, I'll fight you. That means you will.
All right, no fighting live on the podcast. Take that to the
I
band
was gonna
chat
say-
after the fact.
Slowly. Yeah, what?
Why are you trying to get in fights, Kevin?
We shouldn't, but how great would it be if we just like actually get mad at each other on a podcast?
That's right.
I'm just gonna push the interview we have after this further back, please. Insist. I
Yeah.
insist.
No,
Do it.
you're good.
Do it.
You're good, man. Continue.
Break out the fist. Let's do it. So.
Yo, instead of Death Row, can we just go to Pizza Row in New Haven?
Sure.
Oh,
Is that the place with the clam chowder pizza?
That's the place with the clam pizza from
That
Frank
sounds
Pepe's.
fucking
Yeah, yeah.
disgusting.
dude, maybe I'd have to have that instead of pie, dude.
Yo, if you had Frank Pepe's like clam pizza as your last meal, that would just be what kills you. Like the execution can just get called off.
Oh my
You just get the
God.
shit so bad.
Dude, Feller is dead. Feller is deceased. They died that day with the clam pie.
We went on a little tour with our friends in Feller. Yeah, you tell the story, Ryan.
They had the clam pie. They ordered it, and then they all ate it, and they all did they throw up or did they? Yeah, it was throw up. They all barfed.
Throw up.
Oh my god.
It was half throw up, I think, and half the other end.
Yeah.
Yo, thank God at least like the show that night was like a literal house party, so like half the people there were throwing up anyway, so they weren't like singled out. But
That's good.
Yeah, that was right. There was like a.
that was in New Paltz, New York. The pizzeria was in New Haven, but the show was in New Paltz. We stopped for pizza on the way there.
Oh
That was
my
one of our
God.
best shows, but I was a little sketched out at. I don't think this person was following hygiene rules when they were tattooing people on a coffee table.
Bro,
Oh.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
dude,
That's
it was,
The crowd, I really gotta say, was awesome.
Okay.
Really, like they were going hard, and then after us was some like jazzy jam band, and I
Oh.
got really sweaty.
Yeah, they were called what?
What the band? Shout out to What they rock.
Yeah, they're really good.
Stan what?
and then Kevin Schmecka puked in the country roadhouse
Oh.
in the sink.
L.
Oh, in the sink.
Remember?
Oh, and he didn't. He didn't remember this, didn't he?
No, he said.
He will now. We just.
And then everybody was like, Kevin, you were in the bathroom last night. We fucking know you were in there. There was puke in the sink. That's what
Oh.
happened.
So
All right. Sorry.
that's all.
We have one more question. I promise. That's it.
Yeah, moving
Although-
on.
You guys might take
Next
15
question.
minutes to answer. We'll see. This is the last question. Some say it's the most important question. What's your favorite color?
Pink.
Pink. Okay.
Pink.
Solid.
It's always been my favorite color since I was like a little kid. I have a pink towel. If I point you over there to my laptop and keyboard, I have them set to light up pink.
Dude,
Okay.
dude, that's crazy. My favorite color is purple, dude.
Oh my god.
Maybe that's not why we vibe so, Kevin.
It's also
Mine is as well, but specifically royal purple.
There we
Royal
go.
purple.
The specifics.
Nice.
I love it.
Solid.
Okay. Me and Devin.
I don't know. I like a lot of blues and teals most of the time, but I seem to end up buying red shit. I don't know why this happens to me,
it
but
slaps. Oh yeah.
yeah. I had like I used to be a thing of people like my girlfriend used to make fun of me because it was just like, I'm pretty sure your favorite color is red. Like every guitar you own is red. I'm like, but now I play like a whitish yellow one. But yeah, that's what it is.
I like light purple and also a fan of mustard yellow.
Mustard yellow, solid.
Oh.
Dude, wait,
Yeah.
3 of us favorite color is purple.
Oh my god.
runner up for favorite color, beige.
Gray.
Beige.
Beige.
I like beige. 'Cause
Definitely
beige.
the mustard yellow for me.
So,
And even
Beige.
so that's all the questions we have for you guys. Is there anything you want to plug?
Our EP, Clash Coexist, is out there now. It's on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, all that good stuff. We're going to be dropping a second music video from it in a few weeks, so stay tuned for that. And then we have some merch for sale, so you can go to loyaltytome.com/store. We finally have all of it, so we can actually ship it out to everyone now. Apologies for people still waiting, but we just got everything. And yeah, just check out the music, share the music around. I think even just a simple share or shout out goes longer than you realize. So just show your friends, tell your friends, and we'll see y'all at a show when we get back to it.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, I do want to say one thing. I think that dentists make too much money. Listen,
Dude, I
listen. If you brush your teeth and you take your time brushing your teeth, like most people, like you should have fine teeth.
Yeah.
I mean, dentists, like they just check to make sure that your teeth are all. I'm not saying they're not essential, but they make a lot of money. Just brush your teeth thoroughly.
Mhm.
Like I spend maybe like a solid minute and a half, maybe 2 whole minutes, just deeply cleaning my teeth.
Yeah.
You should. It's healthy. The teeth are tools. I think human, I guess, behavior. So
Okay.
brush them well. Fuck dentists.
Okay.
save your money.
Yeah, kill your dentist.
All right, kill all dentists. That's how we're gonna end it.
Yeah.
I just want to shout out Brett Romness one more time. I know we spent a lot of time in the interview like hyping him up, but he was really the unsung hero of this EP coming together. And I think he's having a baby in a couple of weeks.
Damn, congrats.
So
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
excited for those Instagram pictures to come up. We'll be thinking of him for sure. And yeah, fuck dentists.
Wow.
I
Okay.
agree with Kevin, too.
Okay.
Such bullshit how you go to the dentist and then they fucking yell at you. Bro,
Oh, yeah. Oh.
what is your job?
Okay.
Like, such so fucking mean, dude.
Yeah, you show up to a dentist's office, they're gonna like stick you in a chair and like pull your mouth open. You're vulnerable anyway. They don't have to be fucking mean about it.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think I'd just rather go to death row than go to the dentists. Like just
Why do they ask you a question and then put their hand in your mouth after they ask you a question? Because they know that they want to make you feel small. And
Exactly.
All right.
have you properly. That's honestly abusive.
Oh my god.
Dances are canceled.
Wow.
I hate how they like make your gums just start bleeding like crazy with that pokey thing, and then there's like the sucker that sucks up all the blood.
I hate
It's
that.
just gruesome.
It is.
The very precise.
Like, because you're sticking a fucking metal spike in my mouth, dude. What the hell?
Yeah. Dude. Wow.
Have you ever noticed? Like, if they have a light reflector on,
Oh my
it's very
God.
precise concentration of light, so they can easily aim it at only your mouth. But they always just aim just the top, just like near your eye, just enough to like fuck with you.
Exactly.
Like,
Oh my god.
All right. So I think
They
God.
want you to feel uncomfortable so that they'll pay, so that you request anesthesia, so that they can bill your insurance, so that they can make more money. Fuck dentists.
Oh my
My
god.
God.
and that
Yo,
is
our
how
next
we're gonna end
merch item is going to be a toothbrush. You don't need dentists. Dentists are a farce.
it. All right. So that is how we're going to end it.
Morning,
Fuck dentists.
At night, and if you have some sort of
Yo,
sweet
please, cut Kevin off, please.
Just kick Kevin from the call.
Kevin, I'm trying to end the fucking call. We have an interview next. And I've already moved it a half an hour. They're gonna kill us.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah, we're gonna have to
Did we
move it
fuck
again.
this up by yelling about
Oh my
dentists?
We
God.
still have to put the questions together.
Oh shit.
No. I didn't know this. I'm
Fuck,
sorry.
Oh my God.
Fuck
No, it's so
dentists.
bad.
That
Okay.
is how we're going to end it.
Amazing.
Congratulations on the EP release. You guys were a ton of fun to sit down with. Thank
You
you for
were.
sitting
Thank
down
you,
with
man.
us. This
Oh
has
my
been
God.
Loyalty
Thank you for taking the
Today.
time, guys. It's so humbling.
Yeah.
We love you.
We love you
Take
guys. as
care.
well.
Bye.
This has been Loyalty to Me, and we're the Good Noise Podcast.